wedding planning had me at my wits' ends, honey. Like, my ends were witless. Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel, LaVie with Nee. I am Nee, and if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that red subscribe button, also ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Today's video is part 3, y'all, part 3 of my wedding planning series, Managing Your Stress. As a bride, you want to make sure that you are in a good, healthy, mental state so you can really let loose and enjoy this time in your life. So with that being said, let's just get right into this video so we can talk about ways to keep you calm, cool, and collected. Something my husband always says to me is keep the main thing the main thing. And I've said this in part 1, I've said it in part 2, and I think I may say it in every part just so you know how serious and how for real I am with this. But you and your future spouse are the main character. You have to stay focused on y'all and what's important to you as a couple, okay? You have to communicate with each other, check in, and support each other. And to my brides out there who have become a little self-centered and thinking that everything's kind of about them, check in on your groom. Check in on your groom, because just like we're stressed with planning, they're stressed about other things, and so we don't want our future grooms to kind of get lost in the shuffle. So make sure y'all stay cohesive, and like my husband says, keep the main thing, which is you two as a couple. Every day doesn't need to be a wedding planning day. Look, you do not want your life to revolve around your wedding. Break those days up. Let's say like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever kind of works best for you to break up those days, because you do not want wedding planning to consume you. Now, if you're getting married in like 3 months or 6 months, you're doing like a quick turnaround from the day you get engaged, then just disregard what I'm saying. Yeah, girl, you need to have a sense of urgency about yourself. But if you're having a longer engagement, like a year, 2 years, more than that, give yourself some grace, give yourself some time. Don't wrap yourself up in wedding planning. You're going to get burnt out, you're going to get overwhelmed, and you're probably going to lose your identity. You're not even going to know who you are outside of planning a wedding. I promise you, everything's going to get done as long as you plan, follow your plan, and you are very organized and, do the things that you need to do. My husband and I, we had weekly meetings where we just kind of sat down together. We went over all the things that we needed to go over, whether it be the budget. I told him things that I needed him to do to kind of help out, this, that, and the other. We called vendors and talked to the vendors on the phone together, to make sure we're all on one page. My husband knew just about as much of the wedding details, if not really, honestly, if not more than I did when it came to wedding planning. So y'all pick out some days, let that be it, and any days outside of the designated wedding planning day, don't talk about anything wedding related. Nothing wedding related. Just let that be a thing of the past, okay? Not the thing of the past, but let talk about the sky, talk about the grass, talk about Fruit Loops. I don't care, but don't talk about anything that has to do with a wedding outside of your designated wedding planning days. You don't have to do it all. Lean on your people. Why is your maid of honor your maid of honor if you cannot talk to her? Let them know when you're stressed. Let them know when you're scared. Let them know when you're overwhelmed, especially your wedding party, but more specifically like the people around you. Like the people who love you and who are a part of your wedding day are going to want to help, and they're going to want to be a support to you. So confide in them and let them help you. Like I said, you don't have to do everything. This goes back to what I've said in an earlier video. Give small tasks to your people, okay? If it's something that you don't directly have to have your hand on, let somebody else do it. Relinquish that control and let somebody take the burden off you, okay? Also, too, I know a lot of brides kind of get mad when people don't check in or talk to them when they're planning a wedding. But listen, y'all, real life is happening, and your wedding is important to you. So don't put these expectations on people for them to know, oh my gosh, she's stressed out, she's feeling overwhelmed, let me call her and check in. No, you can't. That's very unfair to ask of somebody, especially adults, Like I said, everybody has life going on. So let's be grown about it. If we're feeling overwhelmed, open our mouth. Like, hey, look, girl, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I am stressed out. Just talk and communicate with people. And don't expect people to just automatically come to you. Because a lot of times, if you're sitting and you're quiet and you never say, like, oh, I'm feeling this way or oh, I'm feeling that way, they're going to think that you're fine. You can't expect them to read your mind. We're not Miss Cleo. We have to know that something's going on in order to help you, okay? Okay. So this next topic is a lot easier said than done, but we want to try to avoid financial stress. And I have done a whole video on budgeting. If it's not here or here, I'll be sure to link it down in the description box. So a lot of times when people are stressed financially, in my most humble opinion, I think it's because we have set unrealistic expectations. I've said this once, I'll say it again. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. And it's okay if you don't have it. Let's not try to force ourselves and stress ourselves out about trying to get these aspects of our weddings that that are very unrealistic. This once again goes back to what I've said in earlier videos. You have to set your boundaries and then also be firm in the things that you've said. Drop down in the comments and let me know, what is the craziest thing somebody has told you that you need to get while you were planning a wedding? I don't have anything that's really crazy. I'm just nosy and I want to know what somebody told y'all. So let me know in the comments. One thing you also need to keep in the back of your mind is that everything may not go as planned, okay? There is a big gap that is like room for error, okay? So just always know in the back of your head, this wedding may not go the way that I have it written on paper, but as long as my husband, my wife, my future spouse, and I are married, we're happy, and we have a good time, that is all that matters, okay? One way to kind of limit or decrease the room for error. I don't really know how grammatically correct. Anyways, one way to decrease that margin of error is to hire professionals. Professionals just give us such great advice, especially ones that have done weddings before. They have seen what works and what doesn't work, and they can just kind of advise and guide you. You need professionals to kind of be that buffer, that middleman in between the problems and also the solutions. And that will help with your stress, I guarantee you. Also, as someone that's planning a wedding, whether it be a bride, whether it be a groom, whomever, you have to know when to step back and take a day. Every single day doesn't need to be filled with wedding planning. However, sometimes we do kind of get lost and we feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to get this done. And when you get into that mode, which I've been there, so I'm not judging. I have been there. But when you get into that mode, you have to know, when is the time that I need to step back and take some time for myself? I say you probably need to take one day every month to just kind of reset and recharge yourself throughout your wedding planning process. And I mean, this one day to reset and recharge doesn't have to be like big grand things. It could just be taking a bubble bath. It could be hanging out with your girlfriends. It could be going on a date with your fiance, whatever the case may be. But whenever you're in that mode and you're taking that day to just kind of decompress and let whatever the powers that be when it comes to wedding planning, you don't need to talk, discuss, or even think about anything wedding related unless it's somebody else's. Well, no, I'm not even gonna. Well, you know, people get married at the same time. We don't want to be selfish, but if they're having something going on with their wedding, we'll talk about their wedding. We're not going to talk about mine. And you just have to be able to like kind of compartmentalize and distance yourself from that. Give yourself some breathing room when it comes to wedding planning. Nothing is absolute, nothing is finite, nothing is perfect. And at the end of the day, we always want to extend grace to our vendors, to our wedding party, to our parents. Everybody needs grace, but not just everybody else. More importantly, you need to extend grace to yourself. Okay? You are important. You is kind, you is smart, you is important. All right, y'all, so that's it. That is all on managing wedding planning stress. To my future brides out there, you want to find balance, and more importantly, you want to take care of yourself, okay? You want to make the money. You don't want the money to make you. If you know, you know. If you enjoyed today's video, drop down in the comments, tell me something good. Also, give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel, y'all. And don't forget to tell somebody, to tell somebody, to tell somebody else to come on over and enjoy LaVie with Nee. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Yeah.